That is correct, Ralph. And as you can see, almost everybody now on the field. There is some damage being done. People waving pieces of sod around, and we're sorry to see that. The Mets, of course, have a day game tomorrow, and whether or not they'll be able to play on this field remains to be seen. And we'll be back with more of the celebration and more interviews for you as the Mets have won it by beating the Cubs 4-2 to clinch the National League Eastern Division in 1986. After this, for Express Mail. Steve Zabriskie and Rusty Staub, along with Tim McCarver and Ralph Kiner, back at Shea Stadium. Shades of 1969 and 1973, as the field is completely covered with New York Mets baseball fans. Signs proclaiming "We want Houston," and all of that remain to be seen, as the Mets are the first to clinch in any of the 4 divisions this year, and now we'll get ready to face Houston or whomever in the playoffs. The celebration down in the clubhouse continues, so let's go back down to Tim McCarver.
And I am with Wally Backman right now. Wally, you have had a remarkable year. You took a .334 average into tonight's ball game. You have been absolutely spectacular.
Well, Timmy, tonight is the biggest game of our life, I think, and I'm just hoping what I've done and what this ball club has done is going to carry over against Houston. And believe me now, we want them, and we want them bad. This is the biggest game of my life, the biggest game of most of our lives, and I know that I'm so pleased that we did it here in New York. So these fans that have come out and supported us all year long felt that they were a big part of it, and believe me, they were.
Yeah, you don't plan it to lose it on the road with a magic number of 2. You don't plan to have a series swept in Philadelphia, but it is, in retrospect, a very happy event coming back here to New York and clinching it in front of your home fans.
Definitely, Timmy. All along, I wanted to clinch it in New York. I wanted to see these people go crazy out there on the field, and nobody got hurt, and that's the best thing so far. But
let's go to a much drier and better coiffed Ralph Kiner. Ralph?
Okay, Tim, and I have with us the president of the New York Mets, Fred Wilpon, and Fred's claim to fame before right now, I guess, was the fact that he pitched for Lafayette High School and Sandy Koufax played first base, and I guess you never lived that down. You got to be excited, but you don't appear to be.
I'm very excited, as a matter of fact. I'm very proud of this organization. We've done very well in 6 years. It took us a little longer than we expected. Frank Cashin, Joe McIlvain, all of the crew, Al Harrison, and Nelson Doubleday and I are very, very pleased.
And Fred, of course, you were the man that had the idea of putting everybody together to buy the franchise from the other owners, and this is what has happened, and it's been one of the greatest years in the history of baseball.
It sure has. This is a very, very good team. They play together. They have got a great chemistry, and we're looking forward to the next series.
And, of course, you were in St. Louis. You didn't do it there, but even though the field is going to be tough, well, it'll be like the old days of sandlot baseball, a bad hop here and a bad hop there. We can play tomorrow.
I could bring some Lafayette rocks here, Ralph.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think they need that because we've really had something exciting here. And, Fred, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
And right now, let's go back to Tim McCarver and his other special guest. One of the others.
All right, Ralph, and I like your hair, too, Ralph. By the way, Vern Hoshide, who told Steve Zabriskie before the game that back in spring training, he had said the Mets would clinch it on September 17th, and this is Vern. How in the world did you know that? Now we want the truth.
Well, I probably was guessing in spring training, but 3 weeks ago, I sat down at the breakfast table with Davy Johnson, and using numbers of wins and losses of the other clubs in the division, every time I'm minus and plus, I come up with a 17. So I'd come out and tell the guys, and they'd say, no, you're wrong. And the next day, I'd do it again, and I'd still come up with 7. I did it 3 times, and every time I come up with number 17, I said, that's the day we're going to win it.
Minuses and pluses. Not too many minuses so far this year on this ball club. Now let's go back to the booth and Steve Zabriskie. Steve-O, it's wet down here.